I'm going to go ahead and be transparent.
Okay.
You just stomped on my foot.
Oh,
You really did. And I'm mad at you out there right now. I'm mad at you and I'm mad at God.
love this.
You just stomped on my foot.
I love this.
I mean, literally, this
Yeah.
is no exaggeration. Probably not even an hour and a half ago.
Mercy.
I was thinking about some business decisions I needed to make.
Okay.
And how I was going to navigate some situations. And I was feeling the impression that you don't need to make your decision based on the money.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
You need to make your
Look at
decision
that.
based
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
your convictions
Sure.
and your principles.
And your principles.
Wow.
I was literally
Yeah.
engaged in this internal dialogue earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man.
And so now for you to come here and say this,
Can't be bought.
Can't be bought.
Can't be bought.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Listen, that's how you know the Breathe podcast is practical. It's practical.
Yeah.
It hits us first.
It hits
I
us
sat
first.
there and said that. I was
Yeah.
like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh man,
that's confirmation.
Confirmation. All right. Hey, praise God.
I love that. Hey man,
Yeah.
be content.
Be content. Yeah.
Life can be fast-paced, strenuous, and flat-out overwhelming. Life transitions and taboo topics can make it hard to catch your breath. Welcome to Breathe, a podcast that enables you to slow down, get your bearings, and engage in real conversations where no topic is off limits. Breathe is presented by Breath of Life, hosted by David Person and speaker-director Pastor Debleaire Snell.
Boom.
Boom.
What's up? What's up?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, David's locked in, man.
He's
Oh,
in.
Yeah,
He's
he's locked
in.
in, man. He's got that thing down.
He's
now.
got a swag to it now, man.
I almost caught me off guard there. I was like, why is his fist up? Oh yeah.
Old dogs can learn new tricks.
There we go. There we go.
Welcome to Breathe. We're glad to have
Yes,
you
indeed.
here with
Yeah.
us.
We're glad to have you.
Pastor Snell, Pastor Nugent, David Person.
Yes, indeed.
And we're about to coast into the holidays.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. It's that time of the
That
year.
time of year.
This is a special time of year, and we're loving it, and hope you are too. Hope you're feeling the blessings of God as you begin to coast into this celebration of the Christ.
That's right.
Yes,
Jesus.
Advent. Yes, indeed.
Amen.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's
indeed.
right. So we're going to continue now with our prosperity kit.
Come on,
Yeah.
prosperity.
We in the prosperity kit.
yeah,
Come
man.
on now.
We've been working our way
Yeah,
through
yeah.
it, and now we are on the on the part of the kit where we're dealing with contentment.
Contentment.
Contentment as a form of prosperity. I don't think I've ever heard it.
Yeah, I'm glad you
characterized
said
that
that. I'm glad you
So
said that.
and I'm not pushing back.
No,
on it.
no.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, contentment, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, contentment. Yeah.
So unfold it for us,
Yeah.
unpack it for us.
Prosperity, contentment.
Contentment.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because, and I thought it was a needful conversation because, again, I think in our first conversation we talked about an extreme iteration of the prosperity gospel.
Right, right.
And really, that extreme version is kind of anti-contentment.
There it is.
It is the relentless pursuit of more, greater, better, or different. And honestly, when you look at, I think it's 1 Timothy 6, like one of the things Paul says to Timothy, that godliness with contentment is worth great gain. I mean, he assigns, man, a high level of value
Yeah.
to just essentially, like, if I was to just give, contentment just kind of a, contemporary definition, it is just to be internally satisfied.
Yeah, yeah.
It is to just be internally, how like the Bible says, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want.
Yeah.
Like, I think that is a great blessing. Like, man, when your life is so complete in Christ and you are so aware of his mercies and his faithfulness, when your mouth, as the Bible in Psalm 103 says, is satisfied with good things, like you just are at a place where you can say, man, I'm full. I'm content. I am good. And I just think that, I think wanting to get out of the chase is where I pray that our people can get.
Right.
And again, we're not saying that it's wrong to have or to possess or to own.
Right.
But I do think that there is a unique spiritual discipline of just having such inner satisfaction that the need to chase and pursue things that are outward at the peril of soul investment ceases to be a part of our rhythm.
Yeah. It's motivation. That's how are you motivated? Because one can still have a relentless pursuit to be able to serve, and that service yields increase, but it's that you're motivated by the service piece.
Sure, yeah.
But if you're motivated by the increase,
correct,
I think that's where the imbalance comes in. That's not prosperous contentment.
Yeah.
So I think there's some interesting ways to sort of divvy this up.
Yeah.
So let's take this one slice first.
Yeah.
Okay, I like the slice.
Let's slice it up. It's Christmas time. We're probably eating a lot of slices of things. So let's
I know
slice
I
it up.
plan to be.
Yeah.
I plan to be. So first slice is this. You got people that, and I'm sure all of us have known people who just, they relentlessly pursue money. You know, and I mean, to the point where relationships become secondary.
Yeah.
You know, they're not doing the work they're doing because it fulfills them or because it's their particular area of gifting.
That's it.
It's just got to get money.
You got to get it.
You know,
However I can get it.
right?
Yeah.
And to me, that seems antithetical to the idea of being content, because you can't be content. Well, or at least I don't see evidence of people being content when they're just relentlessly pursuing money.
Sure. I mean, I think even the scriptures, Solomon says, whoever, and he's the richest cat that essentially ever did it.
There you go. There you go.
He had some excesses that were just kind of out of control, man.
Yeah.
But like even, it's funny because when you look at the book of Ecclesiastes, it's like, it doesn't really seem like it's inspired by God. It just seems like the bitter rantings
just ranting
of somebody who's just like, who just messed up a lot in life. And it was just like, don't take this path, right? That's kind of really what he's saying. It's
That's
like,
really what he is, yeah.
Man, after all this I've done, you know what my conclusion was? This is just all vanity.
Yeah,
Vanity.
shouldn't have done it.
That's what you're right. You're saying I spent a lot of my life chasing the wrong things. But the whole idea is, he says, whoever loves money never has enough. Like, I mean, it's just at the end of the day, you know, it has, and I think that's what Paul talks about, the deceitfulness of riches, is it seems to promise something that it cannot deliver.
Yeah.
It seems to promise a sense of identity, value, peace,
mercy.
I'll finally be at ease when I can accomplish, have, or possess. And even people that accomplish, have, and possess it, I think we see, you know, self-destruction in some of the most wealthy and affluent people in our culture. They, quote unquote, have it all, but it's clear that they're missing, in many instances, the things that matter absolutely the most.
The most, yeah.
And if they were to be honest, I think, and if they did an honest examination of their life, they would tell you they're not fulfilled. Even with all the things, even with, you know, a level of success. But unfortunately, I would also add that many who are in search, that those that are on hot pursuit, like that's their motivation. They're always the ones that never find the money.
Never find it.
That's been my experience. They struggle to get all the riches. They're constantly pinching pennies and trying to find it. And it's the folks who are just like fulfilled in the small things. The dump truck backs up and it's just money coming in. So there is an interesting dynamic at play there at times.
That is interesting. Yeah. So I think there are people who are absolutely consumed, and I don't think any of us are saying that if in the course of, you know, being in your gifting and trying to be of service and doing, you know, following the destiny God has given you, if you accumulate wealth as a result of that, fine, great, beautiful.
Because Deuteronomy 8 says, it's God that giveth thee power to get wealth. Like it comes from him. And I think the book of Proverbs says, if you see a man who's diligent in his work,
there you go.
He'll serve before kings and not before obscure people or situations. So I think that's the tension that sometimes believers kind of struggle with. Whereas, you know, I think what we're saying is Matthew 6:33. So you read Matthew 6, it like has a context. He's like, man, listen, it's some of the craziest statements, but it makes so much sense. He's like, man, don't worry about what you're going to wear.
Yeah.
And what you're going to eat and about your body and about your life.
Yeah.
And all these things. And he talks about how the Father knows what you need before you have need of them. And God clothes the lilies of the field.
There you go.
But like in Matthew 6:33, he crystallizes it. Because it's not about having or not having, it's about priority. And his whole thing is seek ye first the kingdom of God and its righteousness. And all these other things that you are toiling about and pursuing and anxious about, all these things will be added unto you. And see, that's the thing I wish, like, man, the believing community, if you could get something like serving God, it's not either or. It's just about prioritizing him first. And he says, if you put me first, like all other things that will meet all of your earthly needs, and I'll satisfy you with good things. He says, commit your way to me, and I'll grant you the desires of your heart. Right. Like, it's not one or the other. Right. It's just about what I'm going to prioritize and making sure, as you said earlier, that I'm not pursuing those things at the peril of my spirituality, at the peril of my physical and emotional health, at the peril of my family and interpersonal relationships. Because I think that it's just really a matter. Sometimes we put cart before horse, and there's this great statement. It just says, first things suffer when they're made second. Second things suffer when they're made first. And I just think that, man, whenever we get the order inverted, that's where the whole apple cart gets turned upside down, and everything in your life then becomes, uniquely vulnerable to destruction.
So here, let's take another slice now.
Okay, yeah.
And this slice is about the idea of really, truly being challenged when it comes to having needs met.
Okay.
I know people, I've known people, I've even been a person who at times in my life I've had, desperate needs when it comes to, Lord, how am I going to pay this bill?
How are we going to do this?
Or how am I going to take care of this need? And I know people that live in that space right now that in fact, there's somebody in particular I'm thinking about, a single mother, with a relatively young child. And she seems to be in this perpetual, and it's not because she's not hardworking, but she's just living. She's circumstances, and I'm sure some choices too, have put her in a position where she is just in, as we used to say, struggle mode. She's struggling, and that can also be the enemy of contentment.
I never thought about that.
Where it's not, it's not about greed.
No, not greed,
or trying to accumulate. It's just about, Lord, I'm trying to survive. How do I do it? How am I going to make it? And you're constantly being assaulted.
So now this is a conversation now for the mature. Like you gotta be deep in the word, because you know what Paul says, man. He's like, I've learned the secret of being content in any and every situation. He's like, man, I know how to abound. I know how to be abased. I know how to, man, to be well fed, and I know how to be hungry. But man, I've figured out how to be content no matter what state I am in. And so I do think that there is, man, an inner peace and a connection with God that when we tap into it, I do think it can be so satisfying that even when our immediate needs are not abundantly supplied, I still think that we can have an inner, and you also know why I believe this is, unfortunately, I've had to live in this space, you myself, and it's true, because you know what, even with that dynamic that you espouse, that you describe, you know what adds to the frustration of that is awareness of what others have.
It's true.
Very true.
It's awareness of what somebody else is able to do for their kids, and awareness of what they're driving, and awareness of how they're able to move. See, like, even if things are already tight, if I'm living too keenly aware of kind of where I am juxtaposed to others, that actually adds to the sense of desperation that I think I have. And because I have done this. I have lived this. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, so like at the end of the day, and again, let me not try to compare apples to apples, because my scenarios is not the same as everybody else. I've never been threatened with living outside. You know, I may not have had the food I wanted to eat, but there was something to eat. Yeah. And I certainly didn't have at different times the nicest wardrobe, but I had clothes to put on.
You had clothes to put on.
And it's funny because, like, man, at the end of the day, like Paul says, man, if you got bread and water. And clothes, you can be content with that. Yeah. Like the threshold for criteria, for contentment is actually a very low threshold according to Scripture. God and those immediate basic needs met, like that's all you need to really be content. But if I'm just living, man, with just this awareness, if I'm always doing this, you know what I'm saying?
Mercy.
Because like even people, it's funny because even people that lived fairly prosperous or financially prosperous or affluent lives, they operate with that same level of desperation as somebody who like is really in a more financially desperate situation. But what adds and fuels that belief is just the comparison scenario. Yeah. And so I just think, because even when I think about it, I know that there are times where I think my parents wanted to be able to do more for us for Christmas and different things like that. Even as we talk about Christmas, and maybe you can't get your kids all the Christmas stuff you wanted to give, and it's so funny. Like there's this reel on social media where the kids give the parents their Christmas list, and they just start laughing. And I show this to my kids because, like, the stuff they put on their Christmas list, I would have never thought to give this to my parents. Like, this is like y'all. I was like, they're so out of control right now. But I'm saying all that to say, there are times where I know they want to be able to do more, so on and so forth. But as an adult, Christmas was good because we were with our family. We had food.
You're saying it.
I mean, listen, we came from that part of town, but it's funny. It's funny. You know what? I didn't realize we were poor until I heard my dad say it one day. Wow. Like, he was just like, yeah, we just poor folks. And I was just like, oh snap. What? You know what I'm saying? Because I was like, we're poor. You know what I'm saying? Just because because in a house where you have love, you don't feel that. Like, you don't have what your friends have. It's funny. I have a pair of Jordans now, but it's the 48-year-old me compensating because I couldn't get them when I was a teenager, right?
Come on. Speak on it, Doc. It's a reality.
I never had them as a child.
Ever.
But what I'm saying is, as an adult, none of that stuff matters. But I just think that desire or that want to be able to do more, that just was awareness of what others had or what others could do, Right. But that just didn't leave a lasting scar on my life, I guess.
Right. Yeah, it can be.
I know I went the long way around with
but that was good. Yeah. That was good.
And I was going to just say, I think there is a relativism to this whole thing because it is a lot largely about comparison. Yeah. As a parent, you may feel a certain ache because you can't provide for your child, but that ache is really compounded when you're in a situation where you can see what somebody else is doing for their child. So it can make it worse.
No. There's a reel that I saw on social media as well by a fairly well-known person. I'm not going to say his name because I don't want you to look him up, but he was saying, he was like, all these people out here complaining about times are tough and things are hard. He's like, do you know what they call hard? Yeah. That they can't DoorDash twice a day. Yeah. They can only DoorDash once a day. And he's like, in my day, we ate cereal. In my day, you've made life difficult for you because your standard of just living includes things that for us it's nice to have.
Yeah.
So the bar has shifted to include things that I can't even get 2 Jordans.
Yeah.
First world problems.
Yeah.
Right.
And see, in first world problems, what we do is we categorize want as need. And I just think that's a harmful practice because what it does is it communicates just an inability to rightly see the big picture. Yeah. I mean, and we all do it. I mean, when I just really, really want something, I identify it as a need. You know what I'm saying? I don't really. I mean, because even when we think about what our needs are, the things that we need to survive and make it to the rest of the day, honestly, probably 99.9% of those who are listening to us. If you really look down at the list of critical needs,
absolutely,
perhaps the majority of us, if not all of us, can say, you know what, all of my needs,
Right.
as the song says, he has supplied.
Wow.
You know,
I got heat.
Yep.
I've got shelter.
Come on.
I've got transportation. I've got clothes to wear. Maybe, like you said earlier, may not be Jordans. They may be knockoffs, but I've got something to put on my feet.
That's it. That's
right?
it.
Yeah, I'm not walking around barefoot.
Right.
You know,
Hey, listen.
You know, so you know, you're right. There's a relative sort of way to evaluate all of this.
And I think that perspective breeds prosperity in your contentment.
Yeah.
Like to be able to be content in your scenario, in your situation, wherever you are, that is prosperous.
Yeah.
There's a prosperity there's a fulfillment that you have, a peace that you have, because you're content.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, it's hilarious. You know the brand Champion, right?
Yeah.
It's really expensive now.
Yeah.
But when we were growing up, it was the Payless brand.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Like that's
Yeah.
what you went to Payless, and that brand was at Payless.
Oh, okay.
It was a play. They spun it off,
Yep.
and so what has happened is that our generation, who couldn't afford Nike and all that other stuff, we made Champion popular because that's all we could afford. So now as adults, we're buying Champion, and now Champion is like $60, $70 for a sweatshirt.
Right. So,
Wow.
Yep. You see it.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, because we made it popular. What I'm trying to say is we made the cheap thing
stuff,
popular because we were content with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We made the thing that was $7
Right.
look better than the guy who had on the $70 sweatshirt.
Yeah.
And so when you're content, there is a swag. There's a there's a certain step that you have. There's a certain way that you move, and people will look at you and be like, "Man, you're prospering."
Yeah. And I think, you know, and as I was thinking through this, you know, I want to just kind of lay this out there for our audience. I think contentment is not when you can buy anything you want to buy.
Agreed.
It is when you have such soul solace that you can't be bought.
Ooh.
Like I think that's
flip.
Okay.
That's what real
Okay.
contentment is. It's not
Okay.
the ability to be able to buy anything, but it is when I have such soul solace that my soul has no price tag.
Yeah.
There is nothing you can dangle in front of me
Yeah.
that draws me out of character.
Oof.
And I think that's real contentment, where like nothing can draw me out of character as a husband, as a father, as a servant of Christ, in your professional or business ethics.
Yeah.
Because man, I'm good inside, and that's where my ultimate peace and solace and sovereignty comes from. So there's nothing you can dangle in front of me. Because like honestly, even when we talk about sin and righteousness, you know, a big part of righteousness, even righteousness, is contentment. It is like just knowing kind of where the value and virtue comes from. So I just want to kind of throw that out there, because like people think, man, when I can buy whatever I want to buy my kids, whatever I want.
I've made
it. It's when your soul has no price tag.
That's good.
That's contentment.
That's good.
In the few minutes we have left, I'm going to go ahead and be transparent.
Okay.
You just stomped on my foot.
Oh,
You really did. And I'm mad at you out there right now. I'm mad at you, and I'm mad at God.
you mad at God?
You just stomped on my
this.
foot.
I love this.
I mean, literally, this is no exaggeration. Probably not even an hour and a half ago.
Mercy.
I was thinking about some business decisions I needed to make.
Okay.
and how I was going to navigate some situations. And I was feeling the impression that you don't need to make your decision based on the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
Okay.
need to make your
Look at
decision
that.
based on
Yeah.
your convictions and your principles.
And your principles.
Wow.
I was literally engaged in this internal dialogue earlier.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, man.
And so now for you to come here and say this,
Can't be bought.
Can't be bought.
Can't be bought.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, that's how you know the Breed podcast is practical. It's practical.
Yeah.
It hits us first.
It hits us
sat there and said that. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
Oh man,
That's confirmation.
Confirmation. All right. Hey, praise God.
I love that. Hey man, be content.
Be content. Yeah.
Man, you got me over here carrying a cross.
Carry the
my
cross. Hey,
word.
that's it.
Oh,
man.
my word.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
So,
man.
what do you say to the person as we wrap up?
Sure.
What do you say to the person who is struggling with this idea of contentment? And I want to focus on not the person who really is in greed mode, just in consumption mode,
Gotcha.
but more the person who is truly just trying to get the basics done for themselves, for their child. I talked about my friend, the single mother.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people, I'm sure, in other, with other family configurations who are facing some of these challenges.
Yeah.
And it can be exacerbated this time of year.
Yeah.
Not just because of the holidays,
sure.
but because of the weather and other things.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a kind of a one-size-fits-all counsel, but I do think that Matthew 6 counsel is actually very important, where Jesus says, really take no thought for tomorrow. Sufficient is the trouble for today. Because one of the things I do think, when you're in that type of scenario, you do have to live life one day at a time. And that's why even Jesus taught his disciples to pray. He didn't teach them to pray for bread next week. He was just like, Lord, give us this day our daily bread. Yeah. And so because one of the things that God does not do is that he doesn't let you borrow strength from tomorrow to address today's trials. He's going to give you strength, and he's going to supply a portion. And I guess at the end of the day, if your needs are supplied today, then you can trust that God is going to renew his mercies, and he's going to supply those same needs on tomorrow. So I think, one counsel will be you got to really be able to get into a space where you trust God one day at a time. It won't always be that way, but there will be seasons where you have to live one day at a time and trust God each day for his portion. But I think in addition to that, I do think that it is the discipline of spending less time looking at others and more time fixating on Jesus Christ, who he is, his mercies, his benefits. And I do think that there's a simple discipline of just kind of, the older folk would say, you got to count your blessings. Yeah. If you don't take the time to count your blessings, you'll get to a space where it'll feel like your curses and your oppositions are greater than the mercies that are being daily supplied to you. And so I do think that there's a portion of you that has to take the time to say, let me count my blessings and look around and say, okay, let me categorize correctly. Are all my needs supplied? Now, maybe my indulgences aren't there yet. Maybe my wants are not there yet. And it's not forever. God is just, from my upbringing to even different parts of Gianna and I's marriage, I can just say, man, Psalms 37, David says this: I have been young and now I'm old. And it's not just his testimony, it's mine. I have never seen the righteous forsaken or his seed begging after bread. And that is not just biblical truth. As kids say, that's my truth. And I believe as you trust and abide in God, it'll be yours too.
Love it. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Pastor?
Man, I think Pastor Snell really nailed it on the head with that one, especially as we want to be delicate as well. We recognize that there are some who fall in categories like what you described. Yeah. But I do challenge folks to do what Pastor Snell said and to really count those blessings, because I think that we did this just the other night for prayer meeting. We're just kind of talking about what we're grateful for, and it took a while to get the ball rolling, but once it started rolling, oh man, we couldn't count them. The amount of things that people were, it's like, oh God, oh man, I didn't think about that. God bless me like this. God bless me like this. God bless me like this. And I just, that's an attitude that we need to foster. I don't think we practice gratitude as much as we should. And I think that will change the atmosphere of your home. It'll change your perspective. You'll be grateful for what others take for granted. And you'll start to recognize that there are those who are in worse scenarios than you. As and that's not to compare. It's just you start to recognize well, okay, man, well, God, you have blessed, actually. And so that's what I want to share there as well. I think there is a contentment is a status to work towards. To really study towards, to really pray towards. And I think there is prosperity in contentment.
Can I throw one other thing in there too?
Absolutely.
So when we talk about contentment, I think there is a part of it where there's the biblical theology of it, but I think that there is there's a spiritual maturity, but I think there's a personal maturity that, even if you're not the most believing person, that kind of helps you say, you know what, contentment is better. So maybe a bad analogy. So the other day, for the most part, I try to do kind of a water, primarily water diet. I won't say I never drink juice or sodas. Right. But this other day, man, I'm just, for whatever reason, I'm just not feeling the water. So I drink some juice in the morning, but I'm still thirsty. You know what I'm saying? And then I drink some soda at another time of the day, and I drink very little soda, and I'm just still thirsty, and I get some other juice, I think I tried Gatorade at some point, and I'm just still thirsty. Now, again, it tastes good, but man, I still have this underlying hydration need. And I was just like, all right, so what? I'm acting like one of the kids here. Let me just go over here, and because there's really only one thing. So there are other things that distract thirst, but they don't quench thirst. So, like, it doesn't matter how many different variations of liquid you have. At some point, you got to come back to this in order for your body to really be satisfied, hydrated, and function like it's supposed to. That's right. And I guess at the end of the day, what I'm saying is let's just go to the well first.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing else in life that really satisfies. Like, those things can be bonuses. It can be the icing on the cake, but like, he is the cake. Yeah. And so I just think that even like those who've kind of pursued like getting the dope car, and you get the wardrobe, and you get the job, and you get the promotion, and then like you're still getting it, and you're like, why am I feeling like I'm still not feeling anchored. I'm still not feeling successful. I'm still not feeling like the man. Because at the end of the day, all that's Kool-Aid. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it brings no refreshing, no replenishment here. And I just think at the end of the day, that's why he says, man, I am the living water. That's it. And he who drinks of this, anybody, will never thirst again. Right. And that's why I just want to encourage us. Let's just go to the water first. Yeah. And I just think everything else will settle after that.
No, that's good. That's good.
So Paul said, I've learned to be content. Learned. Meaning that it's a process. It's a process.
That's good.
Right?
That's good.
It's something that you have to work at.
Give that man a Sabbath, man. Give that man a Sabbath.
I got to give him a Sabbath. We got to give him a Sabbath.
Watch out now.
Yeah.
And so we hope that you will employ that. And all of us need to.
Oh, yeah.
We all need periodically reminders, right? So that we can stay on the right path. This journey is a progressive one.
Indeed. Yeah.
So hang in there.
Hang in there.
And don't get discouraged. If you're struggling with contentment, and if your struggle is not just with contentment, but with real needs that challenge your ability to be content, hang in there. Yeah. Don't get discouraged. Take it one day at a time.
One day.
That's it.
Right. Yeah. And then one day, you'll have a pair of Jordans like Pastor Snell.
That's it, one day.
God bless you,
God
seriously.
bless you. God bless you.
And don't forget, no matter how challenging life gets, especially this holiday season, stop, pray, and breathe.
Breathe is produced by David Person for Breath of Life. Executive producer is Debleaire Snell, and sound engineer is Kirk Nugent. Audio episodes of Breathe can be found on Apple, Spotify, or Google podcast platforms. For video episodes and extra content, check out the Breath of Life YouTube channel. Breath of Life is faith-based content, resources, and programs from a contemporary urban perspective for those looking for hope and guidance. We believe that every breath we take is a testimony that God is consistent, that He loves us, and has a plan for our lives.